One of the most iconic villains in Hollywood is Jason Voorhees. His hockey mask and machete have been easily identifiable and have terrified audiences. The franchise that gave birth to him, Friday the 13th, has 12 films, a TV show, a comic book series, and novels, but we still haven't seen the end of it yet. So what's next for the franchise? Let's find out today, but not before you tap that subscribe button and the bell icon to always stay updated with our latest content. What happened in the franchise till now? The Friday the 13th franchise has come a long way since its beginning. Directed by Sean S. Cunningham and written by Victor Miller, the first Friday the 13th was initially called A Long Night at Camp Blood, and was changed after Cunningham suggested it. The plot of the first movie begins with the presumed death of Jason Voorhees by drowning in the lake while in Camp Crystal Lake due to the negligence of camp counselors. The camp has shut down, and his mom, Pamela Voorhees, will do anything she can to keep it shut, including killing the teenagers preparing to reopen it. The second film introduces us to Jason Voorhees, who had survived and grown fully, returning to Camp Crystal Lake to get his revenge. By this time, Pamela was dead, and Jason had built a shrine to house her severed head. His killing spree continued on in Part 3 and the final chapter, where a teenager, Tommy Jarvis, killed Jason. In the movie that followed, Friday the 13th, The New Beginning, Roy Burns, a man who went crazy after witnessing his son's death, took on the Jason Voorhees identity to become a copycat killer. Meanwhile, in Part 4, Jason Lives, Tommy visits Jason's grave and accidentally resurrects him. Jason does what Jason is known for, heads to Crystal Lake to start a new killing spree. But Tommy manages to tie him to a boulder and drown him. In the next film, Part 7, The New Blood, Jason is resurrected accidentally again by telekinetic Tina Shepard, who was trying to resurrect her father, who had also drowned in the lake. Predictably, he heads up to Camp Crystal Lake where he kills more people. Tina manages to return him to the lake again though, but he's resurrected once again, this time by an underwater electric cable in Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan and diverts his murderous tendencies toward a group of students on a cruise. The surviving students cause him to melt from toxic waste. He's resurrected yet again in Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday, and gets killed by the FBI. This hardly deters Jason, who returns as a spirit and resurrects himself, and that doesn't last long due to a dagger that drags him back to hell. This resurrection spiel doesn't end in Jason 10 either, where a scientist, fed up with all the resurrections, traps him in a cryo chamber. That stops him for 400 years, as a bunch of dumb students take him to space, where he thaws and goes ham on everyone in the spacecraft. But if you've been following the pattern here, you won't be surprised to know he was killed. Jason 10 is the last film in the original timeline, though many also consider Freddy vs. Jason the crossover film with A Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy resurrects Jason and goes head-to-head with him when he refuses to stick to Freddy's plan, to also be part of the original timeline. In 2009, the timeline was given a reboot with a new Friday the 13th, where Jason Voorhees starts killing after witnessing his mother being beheaded. The movie ended ambiguously, like most Friday the 13th films, with Jason being presumed dead but grabbing his victim a moment before the credits roll. Should we expect a sequel? The 2009 film was the brainchild of Toby Emmerich from Platinum Dunes and Brad Fuller, Andrew Form, and Michael Bay from Platinum Dunes. They wanted to restart the franchise the same way they had with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and spent over a year trying to get all the rights from New Line Cinema, Crystal Lake Entertainment, and Paramount Pictures. They didn't want to make Part 11, but rewrite the very mythology that formed the franchise. They didn't want to start out with a movie that explained Jason's origins, but wanted to slowly explain his history as the film and its sequels were released, also adding the lore about how Jason's iconic hockey mask came to be. These ideas seem to be coming into fruition, as the film did well. It garnered over $92 million against a budget of $19 million, and was the second highest grossing film after Freddy vs. Jason. It was only expected that a sequel would soon be made. Warner Brothers seemed to have the same idea, as they scheduled the sequel for Friday the 13th to be released on August 13th, 2010. But a decade has passed since that date, and we are yet to hear anything related to the movie. This indefinite delay is due to the legal issues that surrounded the franchise. Since Cunningham owned Crystal Lake Productions, he continued to work as the producer for the 2009 film, but the creator of the franchise, Victor Miller, was kept out. Miller wrote the original script and deserved ownership of the IP, so he sued the producers under the copyright law of 1976, which gives the writer the chance to petition for a transfer of the copyright after 35 years have passed. Cunningham claimed he was the original owner, alleging that Miller was hired only as a writer to materialize Cunningham's idea. Miller disagreed, and his lawyer argued that there was no evidence to show that Miller wrote his script based on Cunningham's idea, adding that a WGA form agreement would have been mentioned if Cunningham's claim was true. The court case stretched on till 2018, when a U.S. District Court judge agreed with Miller's lawyer and ruled in Miller's favor. His ruling was that Miller was an independent contractor, but Cunningham did not agree with the judge and filed an appeal. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also sided with Victor Miller, as they considered him an independent contractor and not Cunningham's employee, and thus finally brought an end to the lawsuit. Though Miller got rights to the first film, Cunningham still held on to the intellectual property of all the sequels. The question of Jason Voorhees, though, is murky, because Jason only appears as a child in the first film. It's only in the second film when we see him as a proper antagonist. Given all this confusion, news of the sequel remaining under wraps is not that surprising.
Come on, let's go!
Things are looking up. Recently, producer Robert Barsamian stoked the hopes of fans when he revealed that they were working on the next Friday the 13th film. The film would be the 13th in the franchise, and definitely needs to live up to the franchise's name. Sherry Khan, the CMO of Horror Inc., the company that currently owns the Jason universe, added that Jason was getting a makeover, as they had imagined eyes on the mask to make him look more menacing. They also added exactly 13 holes to the mask to pay homage to the long-surviving franchise. Khan reassured fans that though they're exploring a wide variety of options, they would stay focused on authenticity. There's not much to go on about the film, and all we can do now is wait. There are also speculations that Adam Scherr, the retired wrestler known better from his WWE name, Braun Strowman, will be holding the machete as the new Jason Voorhees. Scherr had previously admitted that he was interested in playing Jason, but while promoting his film Deathgasm 2: Gormageddon, Scherr revealed that some talks were going on with people from the franchise and his agency. Scherr teased that if anyone got on the same page, there was a good chance that he would be the next Jason. Scherr's Jason would definitely be an intriguing one. Don't forget about the video game and TV show. While you're waiting for the 13th film, there are a couple things to look forward to. A slasher television series called The Crystal Lake is being produced by A24, which is going to serve as a prequel to the restarted film series. The show will narrate the origin story of Pamela Voorhees, played by Linda Cardellini, and will star Callum Vinson as a young Jason Voorhees. With filming set to wrap up in October, we can expect the series to drop on Peacock in 2026. This is just our prediction though, as there is no official release date yet. If you were a fan of the Friday the 13th video game released in 2017, we have some exciting news. A sequel to the video game was confirmed by Robert Barsamian, the executive vice president of Horror Inc. at the San Diego Comic-Con 2025. Though not much is known about the video game yet, just the confirmation has brought a flood of relief to the fans. Marvelous verdict. A game, a show, and a film. Looks like Jason Voorhees has a packed schedule. Out of all the additions to the Friday the 13th franchise, what are you looking forward to the most? For us, it would be Crystal Lake, as it holds a lot of promise, and Linda Cardellini is a spectacular actress. Let us know your answer in the comments down below, and if you liked the video, tap on that thumbs up. We'll soon be back with more awesome content, and until then, don't go swimming. Goodbye!